Arsenal won, Man City 0, and that is it. 6 seasons without a win against them, losing every single game. It feels so good to actually get the 3 points against Pep Guardiola. It's been so long. Actually, it's never happened. Arsenal have not beaten Pep Guardiola in 90 minutes when their stakes are high. We're not talking about the Community Shield, we're talking about the Premier League. With Spurs being on top, beating Luton 1-0 the night before, not the night before, the day before, they were down to 10 men. Okay, it's against Luton, so what? But Spurs were going into the international break at the top of the table. Yes, their goal difference was +10. Arsenal were +9. But Arsenal knew they had to win, regardless of what the goal difference was going to be. But this is so good. Arsenal Spurs now going into international break head on head, 20 points, +10 each. Only City are just behind on +11. Bearing in mind that Arsenal were going into this game so far behind on goal difference, they've now brought that back. They're now in a better position than they were last season. And why? Because Mikel Arteta is nearly figuring it out. He's not there yet. He's not getting excited. He's not there yet. Okay, Manchester City didn't have Rodri, De Bruyne, but who cares? But they are a £1 billion squad. Arsenal are a £1 billion squad, may I add. City was still bringing on talent in the region of 174 million with Stones, Doku, and Mateus, who came from Wolves. But Arsenal brings on Martinelli at half-time, takes off for Trossard. But before we get into the second half, let's talk about the first half. Let's just talk about how Kozovic should have been sent off. 2 bookable offences. But it's interesting that VAR could not intervene on a second bookable offence. They can't. And I think that's astonishing, that a referee could miss an opportunity to send a player off. VAR cannot intervene, but they can intervene if something happens off the ball, as in, let's say, a punch. Actually, they don't even do that, do they? Because we saw what happened last season. But it's a good day for Arsenal fans. Not one to get excited, but one to celebrate. And I say the two, like celebrate and not get excited, because if you get too excited, you look back at this point and say, was this a turning point? That we got too far ahead, like maybe last season? But we celebrate the victory because it's never happened. It's never happened beating a Pep Guardiola Man City. Let's get this right. Manuel Pellegrini was the last time Arsenal beat Manchester City. So to beat a Manchester City Pep Guardiola team, that's triumphant. That's huge. Because Arsenal are trying to make strides. Mikel Arteta is trying to make strides. And going into this game with Saka being 50-50, actually it was less than 50-50, but the mind games of he's in contention to start. You saw Saka arriving with the team, with the pack on. You saw him smiling up thinking, oh, he could make the starting 11, or he could make the subs. And then when you hear that Saka's not playing, you're thinking, And then you see that Havertz has dropped and then Jorginho is starting, you're thinking, oh. And then you're thinking, oh, God, Eddie Nketiah is up front. But then you still got a bit of confidence. But then we saw the game go in, and 20 minutes into the game, Arsenal were under pressure. Ake should have scored a goal after 4 minutes, and I thought, okay, if he scores this goal, it's game over. David Raya looked shaky as hell, and you start thinking, okay, get Ramsdale back in goal. Because after the first international break, they brought David Raya in. Now, I want to see, after the international break against Chelsea, that's correct, on the 21st of October at 5:30 Stamford Bridge, are we going to see Ramsdale back in goal? And I think maybe Ramsdale should go back in goal. You've given David Raya 4 games, 2 in the Champions League as well. It's time to get Ramsdale back in goal, get a bit of solidity in the back four. Okay, he may not pass as good as Raya, but damn well he won't make as many mistakes as Raya were making in that game against Manchester City. We saw that when Alvarez chased him down, that could have went in. Hit the side netting, a bit scary. But Arsenal were pretty much down to 10 men, and I'll say this respectfully, Eddie Nketiah offered next to nothing in that game. No hold-up play. Every time he was in the box and he wanted to shoot a typical striker, too greedy. The shots weren't really on. Arsenal looked pathetic going forward. I'm going to use that word, pathetic. City, on the other hand, they look abysmal going forward. And that's all credit to Declan Rice, Saliba and Gabriel marshalling out the service to Haaland. Yes, Guardiola on the left-hand side towards the end of the first half, which is a delightful ball. I'm telling you, that was a paradise sort of cross. But luckily, he was marshaled out just a little bit. So when you talk about Saliba, you talk about Gabriel, we're seeing like the best duo. And nearly, not in Arsenal's history, because you still had the Keowns, the Adams and the Bolds. But this is up there. This is up there. Saliba and Gabriel are up there, and they are young. They're under 25. Gabriel is under 25. That's what I'm saying. And then Saliba's got 22. Wow. Ben White played okay. Zinchenko, nothing special. Declan Rice had a good game today. Jorginho booked in at 10th minute? Solid in that game. I think he was good. Something a bit shaky when he had the ball, it's a bit shaky. But overall, Arsenal played well. They played well. Second half comes into play, and then, Eddie Nketiah is still missing. And only when you saw Trossard come off, because he really didn't have much of a game, and you saw Martinelli come on, you saw what Arsenal was missing. No Saka, but there was no pace. The pace comes on, and all of a sudden, the pace merchant just electrified the Emirates. And when I talk about the Emirates, there was it was a poor atmosphere today at the Emirates. It was poor. It was quiet. There was no energy. But when Martinelli came on, there was a bit of life coming to it. You saw how direct and how ferocious he was going to be in this game, and he took it to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker is still not slow. He's not a slouch. Let's not make no mistakes about it. He's 32, but he's no slouch. But even he knew Martinelli's pace is going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. And of course, the problem struck deep into the 84th minute when he took a shot off Ake's face and bang, it went in 1-0 to Arsenal. And there you wrote it. Arsenal still had to weather the storm because the fear was this. When Arsenal took the lead against Spurs, the composure went. The excitement went, and then Spurs went and scored because, they gave to Jorginho. Jorginho just doubled on the ball and they went and scored. But not this time. Arsenal composed. And to see Arsenal actually win this game, let's just take it back a bit further. This could be the moment of winning the league. And I'm not going to say Spurs are going to fade out because they can strengthen in the summer. I mean, not the summer, in January. City's going to strengthen in January. Arsenal need to strengthen in January. And maybe they might need to sell Smith Rowe. They may need to sell a Reece Nelson. They may need to sell an Eddie Nketiah to raise some funds to go out and get a right winger. Are they going to go and get Neto? Who knows? Are they going to get a striker, a big boy striker? But we saw Havertz today. Okay, he done okay. He contributed to the goal between him, Tomiyasu, and then, of course, Martinelli with the deflected goal, but it's still Martinelli's goal. That was going in. I don't care which way you look at it. That ball was going in without the deflection. The deflection made it even more better. It created the scenes that what you get in EAFC. You scored that last minute goal and the crowd goes crazy. I keep talking about this, the crowd goes crazy. That's what happened. It was a good win. It was a deserved win. That's what I've got to say on this better. You guys have been great. Now, if you like this portion of the show, like, subscribe, turn that notification on so you don't miss the show every time we upload. What's that game going to be at Stamford Bridge on the 21st, 5:30? Are Arsenal going to win it? Is it going to be a draw? Or will Chelsea nick it because now they're coming into form? Arsenal's going to kick their ass. Up the Arsenal. Here we go. 1-0 to City. About damn time.